can't hear it?
I mean, maybe every once in a while I can hear maybe a little hi-hat. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, a little bit. Can you like turn me up? Does that help? 'Cause I should have my sound not ducking at all. Yeah, this my machine is kind of starting to fall apart.
I hear Mitch builds machines.
That's technically true. Remember when you built that PC all by yourself without any issues?
Right. Can't give you the number for microcentric.
I haven't really looked. I wonder if that stuff's come down to earth.
Probably not. Not much pricing going down lately.
Yeah, that's true.
Anywhere.
Except
I thought the
Bitcoin.
graphics cards were coming down because nobody's Bitcoin mining anymore. Yeah, maybe.
I think they're still super short supply,
Yeah.
like everything else.
I can't believe you can't hear this intro music. It sounds so good to me.
I can hear it a little bit, but yeah, not.
Okay, I think I've got everything going here. Alright, we'll shut that off.
Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast.
Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast, a bi-weekly production bringing you information on a variety of topics, guaranteed to mold you into a good guy to know. My name is Gio. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the rest of the Good Guys to Know. We've got Perek
What's up, everybody?
and Mitch
Hey guys.
and Chad.
Hey there.
And as Good Guys to Know, we like to start each episode with one of our favorite drinks in hand. I am drinking a Pacifico.
Claro.
Which is-
Summer solstice beer.
Yeah, I don't know why it tastes so much different than the other Mexican beers, but it really is far and away the best in my opinion. Do you guys have thoughts on that?
Did we do a blind taste test on that?
No.
No, but that's a good idea.
Between
all the
that and
Mexican
like
beers.
Dos Equis and
Tecate.
Corona Tecate.
What's the
I
one that
always
has, like,
remember
the
feeling like
skull?
I could not tell the difference between any of those.
Right. I think
a good
they all
idea.
taste good to us because there's such an association with Caribbean and like
Yeah.
vacation and
Pool.
warm climes.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
No,
wrong
not at
with
all.
remembering the good old days, Mitch.
Agree.
Just like
Speaking-
what you think of when you drink your milk-infused beers. Just, you know.
That's all flavor.
Caribbean.
That's all
Childhood.
palate. Nah,
Oh, God.
that's all palate, baby.
Mitch, What are you drinking? That's the
We are
most
back on
important
the
question.
sauce. We
Oh,
are back
baby.
on the sauce. We got a glass of tequila
Cheers.
on the rocks. We're back. We didn't give it up. Back.
I'd say maybe 20% of me thought maybe you'd never go back. So I'm curious.
No, I think I did learn some things, right? And I did. Maybe we can get into it a little bit. I'll let
Go
Chad
for
say
it.
what he's
No,
drinking.
it's
for-
all right. Well,
Yeah. So the reason I'm drinking just tequila right now is I just got back from like a family vacation where it was kind of like a drink every day, and you always want something to like drink. So it's like I had margaritas and seltzers and beer and stuff like that. And so like didn't want anything sweet or anything. And so I just went back to my roots of pure tequila. And I think
your roots.
I think my habits, my recent roots, my
Okay.
recent limbs,
Agave
um,
roots.
I think my habits are going to change after this little 4-month experiment, right? So 4 months of zero drinking anywhere. And I think the thing I was most interested in exploring was like the ritualistic drinking that I had been doing. Sweet Gio, you're a little
Oh,
frozen there.
frozen.
At least is he frozen for anyone else?
Oh,
Yep,
there
we go.
DC'd.
It was just
Popping
temporary.
back.
No,
There
your
we go.
video's off now.
It's back on now, right?
Yes.
What?
Yes, to me.
Oh boy.
It's not back on the stream. It's not back on the stream.
Exciting
While you figure that
times.
out, I'll keep pontificating.
Yeah.
But what I really wanted to explore was the like very frequent like weekday drinking, like after the kids go to bed, like the cocktail or two at night every night. And I really do think that is going to be replaced by hop water or something else, whatever, just something special that like signifies the end of the night. I think I can get. What I have not been able to replace is I could probably. And I was semi encouraged by this, but I could probably count on one hand, like the amount of times where I was like, oh man, I wish I could like start feeling a little drunk right now. You know what I mean? Like either it was like a very stressful week or day or something, and I wanted to take the edge off, or I was in a situation like on a golf course or whatever, where it's like, you know what, it'd be nice to feel a little something right now. Like I said, it was probably 3 or 4 times, right, that I wanted to feel altered or feel drunk. And so in 4 months, like that's not that bad. And then there was just going out to a restaurant. I would like to try like the restaurant's fancy like house cocktail or whatever, just to try it, not to feel drunk, but just to be in that situation. So I think my drinking will definitely cut back. We'll see. It'll actually be a good check-in at the end of the year to see if I'm just like right back to kind of the daily drink type situation or not. But at least initially that's what it was. I think I slept better. I lost like 10 pounds during it.
Wow.
Pretty much doing nothing. I was actually talking to my mom and dad about it over this last little vacation I had, because my mom did it with me as well, and she also lost 10 pounds. She says she sleeps like way better, and she like barely even drank on this trip, because it's like been so impactful for her, like in a positive way. I didn't get much of that. Like I didn't feel like I slept a ton better. Like my Whoop scores.
Yeah, don't you have real data?
Yeah, I do have real data, and I had far fewer like horrible red recoveries, right? So especially on podcast nights. Actually, tomorrow will be an interesting one, but especially on podcasting nights, I would almost always, because it was a combination of staying up really late and drinking on a weeknight, having to wake up early the next day. Like I would always get a red score after podcast nights. And I don't think, it was probably 2 or 3 red scores the whole 4 months. And so certainly that, was better, but it wasn't like I felt better or different. And I don't even think I was trying to talk with my mom about this, where like, I don't think it was the calories in drinks that like caused me to lose weight. I think it was the like, podcast is over at 10:30 p.m. I've just had my last cocktail, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna have a cream cheese burrito. Like I'm just gonna take a flour tortilla and spread cream cheese in it. Whereas I didn't do that.
Are we
on, like,
soulmates?
regular- I know, right? Sometimes a little jelly in there. sometimes
Like
a little
I need that.
salsa.
I don't know what flair you have, but I would never call that a burrito.
I don't know. What would you call it? A cream cheese wrap?
Roll up, I
Roll
guess.
up.
Yeah.
White rice wrap, or white as
I've eaten, I don't
clear
know,
driven snow.
hundreds of thousands of those in my time.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind
I
of a
love.
relatively new thing for me.
I
I know you
love
love
cream
bagels
cheese.
and cream cheese.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff.
So yeah, I'm back on the sauce. I think it's gonna be less on the sauce, but like
What was the
drinking is not-
first time like? Like, I mean, was it like the first time you drank in college as soon as you turned 21, of course? Like,
I was honestly surprised. So I had like a margarita. I put margarita in quotes because like it's not a margarita mix. It's like juice one lime, put ice in it, pour a little bit of lime like seltzer water, and then just the rest tequila. But I was very surprised at how quickly it seemed to hit me. And I don't know if that was placebo or Pavlovian or what it was, but like I was feeling it halfway through. And it was not even like a strong, like what I would consider a strong drink for me. Gio, you're frozen again. I don't know. If,
yeah. What do you think? Picture of Gio.
yeah, he looks happy about it.
He did.
He was
froze
pumped.
both times on a very jovial
Yeah.
expression. Very jovial countenance. So yeah, the first time was definitely, I felt it. And then I had this kind of crash course again where I drank every day on this vacation up at a cabin.
Was there
seems,
any part of you that was nervous about giving it up in the first place? Like what that was going to be like, worried that you would need it more than you thought you did, or those kinds of things?
I had a little bit of that too. Yeah, I think that deep down I didn't think that was going to happen, that I would be like shaking or like really needing it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about going through withdrawals, but more like psychologically.
There was
You know?
yeah, I mean there were times that it was like kind of annoying not to, right? Like you have friends over or whatever and like you're drinking and it was also kind of annoying to like explain. I think I talked about this a couple times. Explain the whole thing. Like, oh, why are you not drinking? And you think that people are like, oh, he must have been in a dark place or something, right? Or he had to go to rehab or whatever. Like he's worried about it. And it's like, no, I really was just kind of curious and wanted to explore it and see if it made me feel a ton better. And it probably, I'm sure it was positive for my like health and body. But it wasn't so dramatic that I was like, screw it, I'm never drinking again. Like I very deliberately, I think it will help my perspective on the good parts of drinking, like the socialization and like the being part of something and the the just vibe you get when you have a beer on the golf course and stuff like that. Like
You'll appreciate that more, or you'll value that a little bit more.
Make it worth it, like to drink. And by that same token, like the Tuesday night when I know I'm going to bed in 30 minutes, do I really need that cocktail? I don't think so, really. Like,
And you found some new non-alcoholic beverages that maybe you enjoy.
Yep.
I'm interested in trying the hop water after hearing you talk about it.
$9.99 at the co-op. Did you see that on sale?
I saw
Is
that.
That's low price?
It's very low price considering that my I think I paid $30 for a 12-pack.
That's $9.99 for a 6-pack.
Delivered to me. So it's still better.
Yeah.
It would still be better for me to get it there. And there's just a bunch of different types of hop water too. Like you can go to your liquor store and lots of liquor stores have a non-alcoholic section that has that stuff. Honestly, the best sleep scores I had was when I had the CBD infused stuff that I got at the liquor store. Like the CBD infused.
Here we go.
It wasn't hop water,
All right,
but
whatever,
it was
Cheech.
something. So I'll probably
And it's all
that's
all about heart rate variability. Is that the
Yeah.
primary metric on that? Do they measure
Yeah.
other things like activity? Like, is there a motion sensor in there?
Dankness.
There is a concept called strain with Whoop. It's still
Okay.
heart rate based.
I'm not interested in their bullshit like TM.
Made up
I'm
thing,
talking
yeah.
about like actual, like what are they measuring? They're measuring
measure-
heart rate variability.
They measure 5 things. I mean, that's the only like real
But they also ask
Biometric.
you lots of questions. There are surveys or things every day. How much did you drink?
Where
When
are
was
these
your last
stats?
drink? Did you have coffee?
So it could all be
Respiration,
bullshit based on your responses.
Totally.
Respiration, SpO2. I don't know what that is.
That's your oxygen concentration in your blood.
Resting heart rate, HRV. That's the heart rate variability, and temperature.
And
So-
they combine those to make a recovery score. So they've defined what levels of each of those signifies health.
Not health,
I doubt they would say
but
that.
they give you those things do.
Yeah, I know they
establish-
wouldn't say that because
Those things do establish a baseline for you, right? And so they can say things like, "Hey, your resting heart rate was elevated this week. That must mean that that probably means that you're getting good sleep because your body is like ready to have strain or whatever. Or, last week you didn't have one good sleep, and so
So I think that's the leap that's dubious to me. Like I bet the technology's at a place where they can fairly reliably measure those things. But then
Just what does
equating
that-
equating certain measurements to what's good or bad for you is the part that they lose me a little bit.
Yeah, assigning that color because I've had times both ways. I don't know, Gio, you started using the Whoop recently as well, or the previous version. But there have been times when I've woken up feeling horrible, or feeling still horribly tired, and I got like a green recovery score, and then vice versa, I've gotten like a low recovery score and felt fine and felt well rested. That's a
Gio's
very,
obviously in a green
rare
right now.
thing.
This
He's
feels
yawning in agreement.
This feels like a real pillar topic.
Yeah.
Like we should dig deep into these wearables and figure out like if there is actually science behind it, if it's published and peer reviewed and whatever randomized type of things. I mean, there has to be a way to look this up to a certain extent, right?
Oh yeah.
But when all you have to
Or
do is
it's
compare
all-
it to yourself, I feel like a lot of the mystery is stripped. Like I think you could probably objectively say, compared to yourself, if you have more time in certain phases of sleep than you did the previous night,
You can say something
it's
about that.
easier to say that that's maybe better for you. Maybe not to
But
say
they're not measuring phases of sleep. You'd need an
Well, I think they
EEG
are.
for that.
Well,
Well, they're
approximating it
they're approximating
better
correct.
than you can without one. And
Yeah.
and not
Right.
but not
Sure.
but not
Is
but
this
not
a
so
straw man fallacy? Like,
well no but
something
not
one of the
so
fallacies?
poorly that you couldn't trust it at all either. Like
I don't know about that. That's what
collect-
Gio's saying.
I mean, they collect a ton of data, right? That probably we don't understand fully to be able to make, claims about. But they collect a bunch of data, and then you compare it to your data from a previous period, and then you also can pair it with, like Gio was saying, these journaling, right? So this journaling thing where it's like, did you have a drink last night? Yes, no. When was the last drink, or how many did you have, right? And if you do that for long enough, and you have this data that we don't quite understand, you can probably start to see meaningful correlations, right?
Yes, maybe. The trick is there's no control for any other variables whatsoever built into
Right,
the thing.
right,
And
right.
there's certain assumptions
That's
built in
huge.
too that changes in your baseline heart rate are bad for whatever
Right.
reason. That may not be the case. I don't know. I mean, what would happen if you were training for a marathon, for example? Would your baseline heart rate for a while go up and then go down as you're improving the efficiency of your heart muscle? And how would the Whoop account for that? I guess you put it in your journal, in your gurnal, right? So I don't know. It's interesting, and I think it would be a good pillar. We could almost set it up as a debate or something
well
and see.
Tombo says, okay, of course, correlation not equal causation. Then he says, I'm with Gio on this one. Where are you on this one, Gio? You wear a Whoop.
I know, but I felt great about it literally until 10 minutes ago, and now I'm questioning all of my decisions.
Right, that's why
I flipped super fast. Yes, thank you, Tombo. I'm like literally like going through my head like, gosh, I should probably cancel the subscription. Like, I think I'm out. think I'm
So,
full out.
so the problem with correlation in studies and things, right, is it says stuff like, if you eat too many eggs, you're gonna get cancer or something, right? And so then people stop eating eggs, which would be overall an an ill-informed decision, right? That shouldn't be done. But if you're looking at your own data and you see some correlations that you might want to try, like, I don't know, stop weeknight drinking after 10, like
Mm-hmm.
that's not a harmful. That's not like a
Not at
harmful
all.
thing of correlate. Like correlation gets a bad rap, I think, sometimes,
Yeah.
and that is well deserved. But it's not a bad thing, especially when you're just kind of experimenting with your own data and trying to figure out kind of your own body.
And when it's your
100%.
own data, it could help you, motivate yourself to make changes that you're already trying to make.
Even if it's totally placebo, like
Yeah.
as long as you
That
feel
sense,
better.
I think the Whoop is astounding. Just listening to you guys, who I know are intelligent and skeptical by nature, both of you,
Right.
feeling good about wearing it and consistently checking in on it and making some lifestyle changes that are probably better for you in general. So, like, psychologically, whether it's placebo or not, it does seem helpful in
Right.
that. But is it
I've said from
doing
the
what it's
beginning that the best
claiming
thing
to
is,
do?
yeah,
I don't know.
I've said from the beginning the best thing is the shame journal that you have to do every morning, where it's like, did you drink last night or not? And I had to say,
know what?
had to say yes, 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 yes a lot.
But
This-
you can do
this-
that with a piece of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can, but you wouldn't. I would.
I think I literally have a journal somewhere in here where I try to do that.
A
Like, keep
shame
track.
journal.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Oh,
That's really what
I
it
want to
was.
hear more about that. Now I'm
Let's
interested.
skip the
Just-
let's skip the pillar. Let's just read.
I want to learn.
Journal.
Can we read it?
Dear
I don't
diary.
even. Well, here's the problem. I don't know where it
God damn
is.
it,
I don't know
Karen.
how long I kept. Yeah, you
Shame.
did it again, you
Shame.
stupid idiot.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair point, Mitch. The question is, do the changes stick and do the correlations hold? Yeah, I mean, to me, it's about probability. I would say, I mean, it's probably better than. So I don't have a Whoop. I'm cheap. So I got the Amazon Halo, which is like Amazon's, overlord version of the Whoop. And I was really into it for a while. I don't really look at it very much anymore. So it didn't super stick as far as like part of it was having the kid and stuff. But like I do use it more than I would use my iPhone Apple Health like pedometer tracker and stuff. It's way more accurate than my iPhone Health app. So it is better in some, like I can really trust my basically the pedometer in this thing pretty nicely to tell, like, when I go play golf or something, it's like, hey, I feel pretty good. I got this many steps in or whatever. So I don't know, a little like positive affirmation that I had a good day or something. That's nice that I wouldn't get without this either. So I don't know.
It does
think-
feel like it's part of some type of cycle of like, what's the next thing? Like, is all of these things that are like not gimmicky, but like kind of gimmicky. And the end goal is always to say, like, you should eat better, you should exercise more, you should get more sleep.
Yeah.
Which is like, it feels very similar, like a lot of this like 23andMe genetic testing stuff, like this direct to consumer stuff, where it's like, that's all it tells you. Like, whatever, like instead of a 14% chance of diabetes, you have a 15% chance. Like, who cares?
So,
It's like, what's
careful with that.
the threshold? What's like
Yeah.
the actual actionable or, causation that's behind it? But it kind of doesn't matter. It's different for everybody, right? Like, it's whatever trips your trigger, makes you be healthier, not have another drink.
You just triggered something. Another thing. There's a thing like fad dieting, right? Where there's all these fad diets, and probably the reason you lose weight on them is because you're just restricting calories, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it's South Beach or Atkins or paleo or any of these things, you just are like restricting your calories probably.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's why you're
doing-
losing weight.
less than
So-
calories out.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
As a very prime example, and it just all kind of rolls together. Like sometimes when I feel like I need to change my behavior, like one of the things I go to, right, wrong, or indifferent is like, oh, maybe I need to like spend money on this so that I keep myself accountable, which is Whoop.
Get in the game.
But I couldn't possibly spend as much as Whoop costs to keep myself accountable on sleep or whatever. So that's why I went with the budget option. But same with it's just.
I think it's interesting that one of the things I think about with our podcast is our challenge, right? And in some ways, we're probably more equipped to hold ourselves accountable to something than most, because we've gotten in the habit of doing it, even though some of us sometimes don't often do it. But it's one of the things I value about this, above and beyond just hanging out with you guys, is there's a little bit of an understanding of discomfort, even minor discomfort. I'm not talking about like something that's really difficult to do, but maybe annoying, and able to kind of tolerate that and roll it into your schedule somehow. And that takes practice, that feeling like I need to sacrifice a little bit to get this thing done. No, I don't have to do it, but I should, and just do it,
Like the grit muscle needs
Yeah.
some reps, even if they're silly reps like we do. Like there's something to that. Yeah,
There's something to that process. The other thing I was going to say that I think really pushes me into skeptical territory on those things is that they've found a way, amazingly, to equate some sort of health or bettering of the you with the certain data that can be measured by a wrist device currently. Amazingly, those
Thank
line
goodness,
up.
resting heart rate
It's
is
so weird. Yeah.
a marker of
They-
health.
Yeah, it's a good thing that your refraction on your glasses isn't the measure of health, because we can't quite measure that on a mobile device quite yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that is a little, but in the end, we're kind of taking this to the other level, which is, hey, does it affect some positive change in your life? Is it worth the money you spent on it? Does it make you feel good? Then I'm all for it. At the end of the day, if you're checking those boxes, yes, right? What happened to Gio?
I had to go get another
there it
drink.
is. I thought you went outside. I think I was seeing your reflection or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
He lives in a house of
So,
mirrors.
Mitch, I have another question for you, Mitch. You think you'll do this again?
I was wondering.
Ooh.
Is it going to be like an
think
annual
so.
thing, or never again?
I don't think so. If I had seen some sort of like tangible, like significant benefit to it, maybe, but I don't think I like gained anything from it. Like I said, I think there will be lasting change. Maybe it's good that I only chose 4 months so that we can check in at the end of the year and see like if I'm just back to the old whatever. But I think that my drinking will decrease, and I will appreciate when I drink a lot more, and like appreciate for what it's for. But I don't see myself doing it again unless I actually did get some sort of health mandate from a doctor or something, which I don't ever go to the doctor, so who's gonna tell me?
No news is
Your
good news.
Whoop, maybe your Whoop will.
Yeah, Dr.
Could
Wu.
be. Go to the doctor. That's when I'll cancel my subscription.
As soon as it does something that's actually evidence based, you go to a professional.
All right.
Oh man,
Chad, what are you drinking?
I'm having a Sam Adams porch rocker. This is a lemon Rattler. Have you guys heard of a Rattler?
I have heard of
See
a
that?
Rattler.
How do you spell it?
Radler.
What's a Rattler?
Is it like a shandy?
So-
Heard of it, but
with-
I'm not recalling.
I had to look it up and then look up how to pronounce it. Interestingly, the best pronunciation video on it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, because this is yeah, and he called it a Rattler. I was ready to call it a Rodla or whatever, but he called it a Rattler. He said this is a German thing, and when I looked up the history of it, it sure sounds like it is. It's one and the same with a shandy, really. It's beer and lemonade, kind of. If you were to order one in Germany, it'd be more like beer and like Sprite or 7-Up. So not like the lemonade that we're used to. And the story behind it, nobody can fully confirm that this is the thing. So Radler is another name for a cyclist in Germany, Bavaria, all of that. And so they would get done with a long bike ride and then meet at a pub or whatever and have a beer, and it'd be just like too much, man. I just got done with this big ride. I'm exhausted. I'm dehydrated. This is not what I'm looking for. So they would like water it down with like a Sprite lemonade sort of thing to make it more thirst quenching and lower the alcohol content a little bit, and thus the Rattler was born. So it's a summer drink that's not meant to get you drunk, but just kind of quench thirst, like a shandy.
It's like the Arnold Palmer of the
Kind
beer
of, yeah,
world.
yeah, and it's
Cool.
good. Yeah, it's actually, it tastes fruitier than most of the shandies I've had.
Shandy. I was gonna ask what's
Yeah.
the difference between it and a shandy, because I know you're a shandy aficionado in the summer.
I do like shandies in the summer. This tastes more like there's maybe some Sprite in here, or so like there's a more robust fruity flavor rather than a fruit tinged beer. But it would be thirst quenching on a hot day for sure. It's like 4.5% alcohol by volume, so
You might be the most bipolar alcohol drinker I know. Like,
why do you say that?
You either drink like
the hoppiest of
like
hoppy IPAs,
punch
or
you in the face
lemon
over and
beer.
over hops. Yeah,
Yeah.
or like literally stuff that
Sweet
has like a
lemon beer.
candy name on it. Like
You're right. I think you're right. And what I don't drink is like
The
a
middle.
Mick Golden.
Exactly.
Or anything in the middle, a Bud Heavy. You know,
Thank
it's
you.
just like
Thank
not
you.
my
Oh,
jam.
God.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just proving my point.
Yeah. No, you're right. I can't argue with that. I'm a bipolar
prosecution
beer
rests.
drinker. Yeah.
There you go.
You were
Um,
like a Sam. Were you a Sam Adams guy for a while?
Sam Adams was my entry into the world of hops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And
what you're
Sam Adams
drinking
are
now?
not hoppy.
Right.
They're
They're,
so
they're,
good.
they're very middle of the road.
They're very good.
They're
Who,
so
make, who makes the beer you're drinking right now?
Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't had any for a while. This was
Never heard
kind
of
of
them.
came out of a sampler
But
pack.
the
of
Boston
some
Lager.
summer- The
like
Boston
that
I mean,
Lager.
I
Boston
meant
Lager.
Boston Lager. When I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
Sam Adams, I meant Boston.
I still go back to that. That's the most middle of the road I get really anymore.
It's probably just
I mean-
nostalgia at this point.
Kinda, yeah, yeah.
Boston Lager is one of my go-to, like
It's a good beer.
out at a bar beers.
Hmm
Like just a good one, safe.
You wouldn't want
delicious.
people to see you order a Coors Light.
God, I love going out to bars. I go out to bars all the time and just order drinks.
Honestly, during this challenge, like the opportunity to go to a bar never surfaced.
It's all
Feels-
I went to 2 restaurants. That was but that was it. They probably had
feels-
bars in them, but
This feels like a challenge in the making.
Oh
You know,
god!
it's
It's
like-
like go to the Loon Cafe downtown
Go
on
to
a
a
Saturday
bar.
night.
That's funny because when you even say the word bar, what I picture is like some foggy memory of Harvey's, like way back in the day.
20
that-
years ago, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, the bar. Oh, a lot of work involved in
Crazy
that.
days. Yeah, that
That's,
was.
those podcasts are behind the paywall. those don't exist in the public sphere.
Yeah.
That's right. Where they belong.
Oh
Well,
man.
all right, Perry.
Subscribers only.
Finish us off. What are you drinking?
I just have
An empty tumbler?
no Bullet Rye. No, I got a little left there. Bullet Rye. That's what I have. The usual.
Consistency,
kind of
baby.
thing. Mm-hmm.
Consistency over
Still
time.
good, as it turns out. I still enjoy the taste.
I need
Good.
to add an anecdote or a footnote to my beer. I've switched over to a Surly Supreme. This is one of the
Those are grapefruit?
Supremes. This is the
Black
a
cherries?
black cherry. There are 8 different flavors of the Supremes now. They are almost all
Classic
very,
Surly.
very, very good summer beers.
I do
Like,
not like that grapefruit one personally. That was in the mix pack
Really?
last summer. Yeah.
Oh, that's the original one. Is the grapefruit? It's like the
Yeah.
original
I like
Supreme.
those.
That's maybe my
I mean,
favorite.
I didn't pour it out, but I'd never buy a 12 pack of it.
I need to see one of those infographics. You guys ever seen it on like Reddit or whatever? They have one of these graphics. It's one of the coolest data visualizations I've ever seen in my life, where it'll be like most popular websites 1990 to 2020, and it's like over time, and it's a bar graphs that grow, and like Google goes up and Amazon goes, MySpace gets big and then it goes down. I want to
Dogpile.
see one of like Surly Brands or something, and just see it just explode, because 15 years ago when they started, they had like their 4 flagship beers, and now they have hundreds and hundreds of beer. What did you just say? How many Supremes are there?
Like 8 different flavors.
8 different Supremes. They probably got, I bet they've got almost triple digits of different IPAs that they've had over the years.
Yeah.
Triple digits.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. And yet,
I've been talking about it for a long time. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but it's crazy how many beers they have and how diluted they've gotten. I think their brand has gotten.
And then put their profits over the top of that graph.
Yeah,
over the same time period. I mean, maybe they're onto something. You don't
that's
have
the
to.
model.
Yeah.
I think they're playing chess on this one. I think they may see like the sale for a new beer is like dramatically increased in the first X number of months.
Right.
So they just
Did you guys hear about the new Surly?
Yeah, they reshuffle these same recipes with like a quarter teaspoon less sugar, and then like call it something different.
Are you guys some sort of like brand or beer loyalist? I know Bullet Rye for Perrick. Right. And Mitch, you're kind of a tequila guy, but is there a certain brand of tequila that you always go to, or are you constantly like trying different ones? See, I guess you're not buying it as free.
Yeah, I didn't, even when I was buying frequently, I didn't really have I had a go-to, that Esposito or whatever, but I don't know why I did that. I didn't really yeah, I don't have any loyalty to tequila.
Mentos freshness.
Gio, what about you?
That's all I heard.
We've always joked about you being the Coors Light guy, but aside from that, when you go to the beer store, do you go for a certain beer, or is it a browsing affair?
I'm definitely a Surly loyalist.
I say Toppling
still get
Goliath.
the
If
new
I'm buying
ones.
beer, Toppling Goliath,
They're really
I'll buy
good.
that every time.
I mean,
and did you see that picture I sent to the What Are You Drinking? My sister came up. She lives in Decorah, where Toppling Goliath is, and she brought these seltzers. Toppling Goliath seltzers.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she gave me one, and it was very good. I couldn't find it here. I tried a few different places, but yeah, that was good. Toppling Goliath.
There's a Toppling Goliath section at my local liquor store, and they're just so expensive. I mean, they're so good too, but I stand in front of the cooler and look for one I haven't had before, which is kind of strange, because in a lot of other things I go to what I know. Subway, for example, I'm getting my same sandwich every time.
Seafood and crab.
Wait, you got those seafood subs. That's so crazy.
Love seafood.
When's the last time you had one of those?
I go like at Byerly's. They have like a little, by the deli, the little tubs of pasta salads and stuff, and they have seafood and crab salad, and I get that. Every once in a while.
Why do they have to? Is crab not seafood?
It's not real crab. It's just I think Subway called it seafood and crab. Maybe that's why I'm anchored.
That's why.
I don't know.
Come on, answer my question.
An imitation crab.
So
yeah,
anyway,
maybe it
where
had
I
a
was
K.
going is
Maybe it was crab with a K.
Surly's approach plays perfectly to me, and it makes me wonder if there's a lot more of me out there that's like, there's a huge variety of IPAs, and there's a never-ending supply of new ones, and I like that.
It's like that episode of The Office where Michael's like, I've got a list of names for new paper companies that I'll use if you buy this one. Yeah. Michael, that's one of them.
That's one of them. Yeah. So Surly's taking my money on the regular.
Me too.
So we should have segued earlier when Chad was talking about people not completing challenges.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Anybody do this one?
I don't even know what it is.
Well, I don't remember what it was either.
Knots.
Oh, no.
Baby.
I got a lot of TikTok videos about knots. I think somebody's listening to me or something. But
hey, you had all those reminders and you still didn't do it? You weren't a very happy camper with the suggestion of this.
Camper, nice.
I wanted to do this before, and I've known that I've never been motivated enough to learn it in the past. So,
okay.
Chad, can I cut to your screen? Can you show us I'll zoom in on your video. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Sure. The challenge was to learn 3 new knots, I did it that way because I know several already. And I know Perrick has been into this in the past. We've talked about it before. So I wanted to push myself to learn some new ones. And then to get full points, you needed to demonstrate one live. So that's what I aim to do. I'm going to tie it's bowline, but pronounced bowlin knot. Very common.
This is a knot you didn't know before. Just to be
correct.
You did not know the bowlin
This is a
knot.
shoelace, which is the only. We just got done like cleaning up a bunch of stuff around the house to get pictures taken, to sell, and all this stuff. So nothing is where I needed it to be. So this is the only. This is not a great knot.
Pro tip:
rope.
if
I
you
see
have
that
a
those-
baby in your own house, you're gonna want one of those around, according to the 911 dispatch. That was the first.
What?
That was like the first thing he said to me. You know, the
Have
baby. We had the baby in the house.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with 911. He was like, I was screaming and whatever, panicking, and I was like, all right, we're good, we're good. She's
for
out, she's crying,
eternity.
everything's good. And he's like, all right, you gotta go find a shoelace. That's like the first thing he said to me. I was like, no, I'm not gonna find a shoelace right now. Not happening, bro.
God,
Anyway.
I would pay so
This
much
is-
money for that
this is making-
audio.
Can I get it?
my
I don't
God.
know. I don't want it. I never want to hear it again. I know that, but
No,
I would
you
love to own it. Like a secret NFT kind of thing.
You should let us listen to it. Like that grizzly bear story of the guy that got murdered in his tent. You remember that? You remember that video?
Oh,
Was it like
Somebody had
living
an
with the
audio of it,
Grizzlies?
They're like, never let anybody listen to this.
yeah.
That's
I
me
remember
on
hearing that.
911 call. Okay, let's cut to Chad. Full screen video Chad tying a bowling
All
knot,
right.
which apparently he didn't know before.
I didn't, honestly.
Okay, I said that. That's what I just said.
You do the first
So-
bunny ear.
The point of the
Loop.
bowline knot is to put a fixed loop at the end of your rope. So it's not a slip knot where the loop cinches down on something. It's a loop that you don't want getting any bigger or any smaller. And it's a very strong knot. It'll hold, but also when you take the weight off, you can get it undone without having to spend hours and hours. So
So did you have an application in mind? Because I think the other thing we said when you proposed this challenge, where you're like, yeah, and then you might use this knot every day, and I thought to myself I think it might have been years since I've needed to tie a functional knot. Like that it has actually needed to do because you had just come in from chainsawing some log on your yard or something, and I was like, phew, I don't even tie my shoes anymore.
Slip-ons. Costco slip-ons, baby.
It'd be-
Physics.
Actually,
Physics.
hauling things around would be a reason to do this. If you needed to hang something from a bar, I don't know. This is a
Go to
camp.
bars. We've already established that.
Oh, call back.
That this is one that's recommended for camping a lot of times. If you need a loop to hook onto, that's I don't know. I don't personally have a ton of use for this, which is why I hadn't learned it yet, honestly. But it's a very common
This is a
one.
good boating knot.
So it's a boating knot. Yes, it is.
I think it's actually
All right, so-
bow line, maybe the original how to.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna throw it over a thing on the end of a
Cleat.
dock or whatever, right? You don't want it to cinch because you want to take it off eventually, but you do want it to be strong. Cool.
Yeah, but-
okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure. Well, I mean, not quite.
Here's Chad. I mean, it's tangentially related to that, I think. Here's
Right.
Chad with a bowling knot.
So here's the end. This is called the working end that you're tying the knot in. First, make a loop over here, right?
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Trying. It's a little weird. So then I'm going to take this working end, bring it up through the loop,
The rabbit
behind-
goes around the trunk.
the trunk, and then back through that loop that you made. I don't know how well you guys
Higher.
can see this.
Yeah, that. Not well.
Sorry. Tie it, and you've got a loop that doesn't move up or down, and is very secure. So that's that. Now I'm going to show you one.
Well,
that
how do you
actually-
release a bowling knot?
You just untie it. It doesn't release unless you untie it. So there's not like some special.
But
pull
pull it as
cord.
hard as you can and then untie it for it. Oh, you're way too low. We can't see it. Sorry,
sorry.
on stream you have a name tag. You got to hold it over your face.
Okay. So we'll tie it one more time.
you go.
Create your loop up here. right?
Loop.
Loop.
This end up through the
Whoop.
loop. Now you're gonna. I'm gonna try and switch this around so you guys can see. Now you're gonna
Double
take this
swoop.
end, swoop behind the trunk,
Uh-huh.
back down through the loop that you initially created,
Uh-huh. Pull.
and just pull. Whoop,
Loop, swoop, swoop.
then just
Tree,
pull.
pull.
Then just pull. Then just pull. You gotta. I don't know that I did that one the right way.
That one's
actually.
wrong. The
no.
end should be
No,
going into the
it's right.
loop. The end should be in
Well,
the
it got
hoop.
pulled that way as
Yeah.
It's
Shoelaces maybe a little
it's
different
not
too.
going
Yeah,
anywhere.
you're pulling as hard as you can there. Yeah.
Can you untie it?
That's really not going anywhere.
Okay,
God, I
so
wanna see
Now,
that break.
not with shoelaces. I'm not.
I think
gonna
shoelace
probably
might be
do it.
messing it up a little bit, but okay.
I think so too.
All right. Go to your other.
Now, another one that I actually use a lot because I climb for like hunting stuff into trees. This is a way to put a loop like this into the middle of a rope. So let's say this is up over something and you need a loop in the middle and you don't have access to either end.
Ah.
So this is kind of cool. So the way it'd actually be easier if I can go like this and show you.
There we
You
go.
can kind of see.
Very nice.
Can you see that?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So with a bigger rope, I would use my hand like this. Since this is not a big rope, I'm just going to use a couple fingers. So you've got your rope here. You wrap it around so that
Whoa.
you see 3 lines. Okay?
Oh yeah.
You take this middle one, pull it under the right one, over both,
Yeah.
and back under again. And that is your loop. And then you just kind of dress your knot here.
And this is fancy. It's called a
This is called an alpine butterfly.
yes.
And then you've got a loop here that you can hook something on. Very
Or put
secure.
your foot in or something.
Exactly.
Climb up.
Yeah. So what I do is then I would take this side that's hanging down from a tree, put it in here, and pull it up, and it cinches up around whatever branch or limb. And then you've got a super secure rope up in the tree to climb with. But you can also, I mean,
Without
just
having to
use
be
that-
up there already. Ah, cool.
and you could do, multiple of those and just create a series of loops that you could put things in or hook things on or that kind of stuff. I also learned a barrel knot for a stopper knot. So this is one that's used in rock climbing and I guess on boats and things where you want to put some sort of bulky knot at the end of a rope so that it doesn't slide out of some piece of gear. So if you guys have ever been like at a climbing gym or something and you're rappelling, you're holding on to somebody, the risk is that the loose end of the rope slides through whatever you're doing and somebody falls. So if you put a stopper knot on, that keeps it, if it starts to pull, it'll stop it on whatever knot or piece of gear you got. That's not a great one to demonstrate because this is flat,
Yeah.
rope, and what the point is to create bulk with a knot like that. So there's several different ways to do that one. And then I did learn this one is this lace is not great, but a fun one to look up and is actually kind of pretty when it's done is called a double fisherman's knot or double fisherman's loop, and it's a way to take a single thread and make it into a circle. So you basically connect the ends, and I encourage you to go Google that one if you're ever.
Do you loop around each other and then send it back through? Is that how you do
Yes.
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, it's a fly fishing knot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
there
you're
you go.
attaching the leader to the
Yeah, you
Oh,
can marry
fly
2
line.
ropes with that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Exactly.
the blood
That's a
knot,
good one.
I think maybe it's that
Yeah,
a
blood
different
knot
name
is
for it.
another.
Yep.
It's the same.
So there you go, Gio. You could use this in your fishing escapades.
My parents were cleaning their garage, or this last week or whatever, and my dad is donating. He has like a 17-foot awesome aluminum canoe. He's donating it to this place up north in Ely that I'm going to go to. But anyway, long story. I had to get it out of his garage, and I had to take it home to my house because I'm going to bring it up to Ely for him. and I had to attach it to the car, and I used some knots that the trucker's hitch.
Hitch?
Yeah, I used a little trucker's hitch to really cinch it down. Great knot, which is another similar to what you did with the butterfly.
The alpine butterfly, yeah.
Where you have
create
you have a
loop in
rope
the middle of the rope.
Yeah, and then instead of like Mitch was saying, you put your foot in there. What you can also do is take the bottom end, your working end at the bottom there, wrap it around a pole, come back through and put it through that loop, and then you can use the loop as a lever, and you can really tighten.
So
you can tighten the crap out of it.
Here.
Like a built-in ratchet strap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are. I mean, you could watch many hours of different varieties of the trucker's hitch. There are like basically ratchet strap ones where you tighten it and it doesn't loosen if you let go. The one I know how to tie is you have to tighten it and tie it off before you let any slack out, but it's very fun.
The other
stuff.
one that I
this
use
challenge.
frequently, that is, you could still do it, Perry. That I use frequently, where you can kind of create a loop on the end of a rope like this, is to take it, put your fingers in and flip them, so that you're left with this sort of deal. Maybe you've done that just fiddling around like with your shoelaces or something at some point, and then that cinches down really well.
There's another one that's like basically that, but it'll actually throw a loop in there for you. What?
That's the clove hitch, probably.
Yeah. Like it's basically tying an overhand knot right in the middle of the rope.
Yeah. So I think I said last time, and you guys laughed at me about how it seems like there should be a finite number of knots that you could possibly tie with a single rope. And the idea that people come up with new ones is like mind-blowing to me, because people have been tying knots forever. But you guys don't find that as interesting as I do. That's cool.
Do you remember Chad's Big Fat Idiom and how many of those idioms were sailing?
Nautical or not. Yeah.
It's just like,
related.
think of how much time people spent on boats.
Hold on.
It's crazy.
If Chad comes back with those antlers.
Lasso them or something. What is this? Was that
this is the book he was looking at when he thought of the challenge.
So this is the book that Angie bought for me. The Ashley Book of Knots. This is the knot tying Bible. Wow. This guy, Clifford W. Ashley, has over 7,000 drawings representing 900 knots.
Are they good? Are they good? Like, can you actually learn the knots from the diagrams?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes over everything based on uses, based on where they came from. It's very, very nautical. They also have like things you would see like in it.
It's a nice gift you got.
Nautical? See what you did there?
So like these are called monkey's fist knots that you could see like
decorative
people doing
knots.
for fun. Decorative, exactly. Celtic style knots are in here. It's crazy. It's kind of a fun like coffee table. I'm not doing anything else right now. This weird encyclopedia of knots sort of book. So
one of my favorite stories is Lee and I went camping in the Boundary Waters. Just she and I went, and I don't know, we were there for a couple of days, and literally all I did was I had taken a book of knots, like a klutz, like those old things they teach you how to juggle, or they teach you
klutz,
it's like this klutz book of knots, and I brought a rope, and instead of like going out on excursions and like portaging to other lakes and stuff, I just like laid on this rock by the water and I tied knots for 2 days straight. Dude, and it was like the best vacation of my life.
It's kind of it takes up that same category as like whittling, right?
Yeah.
Just and there's something just mildly satisfying about tying the knot correctly and then taking it out and doing it over again.
And then you forget it after a day, and you can have the exact same vacation next week.
Yes.
Learning the knot again, because you'll never remember it all.
Yeah.
So did anybody else do this challenge, or was this just a runaway by Chad?
I think that's 2 runaways in a row, guys.
Let me check the scorecard.
I've just been straight up.
Yes, that would be
skipping
2
challenges.
runaways in a row.
Yeah, Peric, you've had some excuses. I get it.
Yeah, true.
Mitch,
Yeah.
you haven't even been drinking, so
Mitch is probably still winning, so let's not cast any stones yet.
all right.
But yeah, that's 0 for the rest of us, and
Oh,
I
the
am still
Stonecaster knot. I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
doing a good job. All right, you guys want to play a little?
Let's play a little bit of Myst. We've been teasing this for a while. I know it's getting late.
No.
Can we
Gio
just
was
take
thinking
the
First
Six
and then
Sur-
Myst?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Way too late.
Okay,
Myst,
it's too
Myst
late.
is
We'll
not
do
like
it next time.
Myst is not like a let's play it for 5 minutes type of game. It's like
Well,
we
it
got
could
Our
be.
crutch in
We'll
case we
see
couldn't
where
talk
we
about
are.
knots and drinking for 40 minutes.
Turns out,
Turns out we can.
Yeah. Does
What's
Whoop
going
ask
gone
you?
longer.
Does Whoop ask you how many
Think so.
knots you tied the previous night, or did you sit down
you
and
could
tie any knots?
configure it to ask how many knots did you tie, and then you could correlate that with your sleep scores. What if? What if, guys?
Sailing knots or hunting knots?
any listeners want to play Significant Surrender, get
God,
in.
I hope there's a not question in there.
Get
It's gonna be a
in
fun
here.
one. It's gonna be a fun card.
God damn it.
So, Mitch, you're reading?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is gonna be a very fun card, I think.
All right. If you want to try and get... Oh, sorry. I got to change scenes here.
I've got the challenge, by the way, as well. I have 2, I think, challenges in mind.
Let's just do one at a time.
So, oh, gosh. Sorry if the stream is
You guys
laggy.
might
My
get them all,
computer
but
is
there's gonna be some
struggling.
wrong answers along the way. Like one of those where like the first
Tricky.
guy to buzz in is not gonna get it.
Lots of multiple choice then.
Oh, man. I
As a
think the
challenge, are
stream
you guys
is
Maybe
thinking
not.
more? Are you guys thinking more an eating or a drinking challenge?
It's so hot. I'd rather drink than eat.
Okay.
Is
So
it the
be it.
bar?
Tombo's not unright. He's not
Kojak's
wrong about like if you did tying knots before bed instead of like drinking or listening to a podcast or
Therapeutic.
watching screens, like just like reading or something, right? Like you could that could help your sleep scores.
You will go to
Shout.
bed. You will go to bed with a contented smile on your face.
Right. All right, we do have a listener. Kojak's in.
Oh,
Muted.
baby.
But in.
You'd been in.
Still rocking that NFT that's gonna make him
And-
rich.
Okay, I think my stream might be
Randomized.
back. Sorry if it got really laggy there. My computer is currently trying to, I don't know, power itself down, we'll say.
Kojak back in the lounge.
Did we ever decide
This is weird
what
why this
happens
happens.
if the listener gets the last correct question?
It stays with the previous
Oh,
guy.
It's worst case scenario.
that's horrible. All right, let's go.
Hold on,
I'm
hold
sure
on.
he's fine. I'm sure he's buzzed in.
No,
What?
no.
Question 1.
Okay, Kojak, sorry, man.
Who do you
You're
think
muted.
you are?
Mr. Big Stuff.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
we can.
Oh,
There we
sweet.
go.
Welcome.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Can you confirm that Mitch actually was drinking throughout the trip?
I can confirm.
Did he seem like himself? or-
Kojak brought this gorgeous
Oh,
aroma
boy.
mix that was
Heads up.
delicious.
Combo.
Heads up, we got
Oh,
Oh,
listeneros.
2 listeners.
Snap.
Tombo, are you there?
Combo.
All right.
All right.
Was he,
Welcome, welcome.
Do they get 2 guesses? Like if you
For
guys
sure.
in, like everybody can
For
guess,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
So this is going to be a 6 for 6 card. For
Once we
sure, but
upgraded
I
it,
think
any and all
I do
listeners.
think there will be wrong answers along the way at least. So are we ready to
Call
go?
out your name to ring in. It's up to Mitch to be honest about who he hears first.
And there's no penalty for a wrong answer.
Correct.
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 We will boot you
Not
out
this
of
year.
this call, Tombo.
Just shame.
That was my hang up last time.
Shame.
We've talked about it.
Shame.
We've talked about it. Like you.
Yeah, you have to
lose a
write it
point.
in your shame journal.
Kojak, it looks like you're still on mute. Is that deliberate?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
It's a bad habit.
You had to
Good.
fart.
No, that's a
It's all
conference
right.
call. That's a guy who spends a lot of time on conference calls right there. Good etiquette.
Uh-huh.
All right. Question 1. What 2 U.S. states end with the letter Y?
Peric.
Paris.
Chad.
And it's gonna have to be fast. You can't just sit there and think now.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't get it.
Chad?
Kentucky and
I'm gonna call that too
No.
long.
yeah.
Did
Eric,
anyone else
I was
buzz in?
really hoping you
I
would
don't
get
think you
me
should
on
let
that.
anybody else buzz in either if they can sit here
Yeah.
and think the whole time.
That's true.
Well,
And
they're playing mind games with everyone else. They can wait as long as they want.
Mm,
Doesn't behoove them.
yeah, but at some point you got to call it.
yeah, like nowish.
Any day now.
Okay, it's done.
I guess. All right. I guess that question is done. Listeners, you still there? Kojak, Tom, you there?
Yeah, I got the first one, but
Got it.
I'm
All right.
drawing a blank.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna call it then. New Jersey.
Oh God.
That's trivial.
Question number two. In what film did Kate Winslet pay Rose DeWitt?
Parrot.
Geo.
Geo.
Titanic.
No
Correct.
way, that was Gio.
Question number three.
Wait, stop. I got to do the scoreboard. Sorry, I forgot.
yeah.
Hold on. And also, there's no way he rang in faster than I did.
That's
It
what I
was
heard.
clear.
I know that's what you heard. I'm just
I
frustrated.
know. I know. I've been on that end as well. You good now?
Yeah.
Question three. What does the acronym NATO stand for?
Chad.
Tom.
Geo.
Colin.
Chad, Tom, Geo, Kojak. Chad.
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Correct.
Yeah.
I thought it was North Atlantic Trade Organization. I didn't know it was treaty. Good work. I thought there was going to be a wrong answer there
Chad's
because of my own shortcomings.
Chad's running away.
Question 4. According to the Flannery O'Connor short story, what sort of man is hard to find?
Peric.
Chad.
Tom.
Geo.
Peric, Chad, Tom, Geo. Peric?
A good man.
Correct. Good.
Oh come on.
Stupid.
Eric,
Garbage.
for the record, I definitely buzzed in before you on that one.
Yeah,
Just
whatever.
saying.
Whatever. Don't get mad about it.
Question 5. Question 5. Oh, Kojak, aggressive going on mute during the reading of the question. Question number 5. What is the most common scalp symptom of seborrheic dermatitis?
Peric.
Tom.
Geo.
Kojak.
Chad, Peric, Geo, Kojak.
Flakes. Flaky
No.
scalp.
Oh come on, I was
Peric?
totally second.
Oh!
Peric?
I was going to say dandruff.
Correct. It's Dan.
That
I'm
is
sorry. I'm sorry. I have
Yeah,
to.
that's a trivia. You can't take that in trivia.
Blame the
pursuit,
internet, folks.
Sorry.
Boy, taketh, giveth.
Legs, yeah.
Final question. Sports, baby.
Really?
Who won a record 15 Grand Slam tennis tournaments
Geo.
by beating Ant
Stop.
Geo.
Geo?
Kojak.
Jeez.
Kojak. Geo first, then Kojak.
Roger
Peric.
Federer.
Correct. Roger Federer.
Oh, yeah.
By
we
beating
gotta
Andy
remember.
Roddick at Wimbledon in 2009. I got screwed up because who won a record 15 Grand Slam tennis tournament, and I thought it needed to be plural, and so I said tournaments, and I got all discombobulated.
Not your best, Mitch.
Ooh,
Not your
this is a tricky
Sorry,
week.
but Geo got that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I think I needed to.
So
I
Gio
needed
reads
to.
next week.
Dang it.
I gotta move.
What's the
this down.
score?
Sorry, Tom. I'm on the dandruff one, but
You're good.
You're
good.
I listed off.
I'll
Back
let him
against
have
both
it, Tom. Let him have it.
Oh, Tom just texted me that he hates you, Mitch.
No, I just texted him the audio clip of it.
Oh, yeah. Check the tape. Okay.
Okay.
Just stay in the Wordle channel.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
That's my jam.
Oh, yeah. What's your high score in Wordle right now?
Gosh, Tombo is killing the Wordle channel.
What's your high score? Is it like you were
30 something.
High streak.
No, streak,
That's
sorry.
wild.
Like 12, 13, 14 or something you were on.
No, 30.
30.
Oh,
I saw 30 something.
that must have been
34.
after I
Yeah,
muted.
he's in there all
Holy-
day, every day.
Oh,
Great. Hey, you got a little one. It passes the time well.
yeah, that's true.
That's
Gotta find
incredible.
something.
30. Because some of those words are not real Wordle words, like
Much
pizzazz
harder
or
than
something.
actual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Bojack just had a good one in Tabby.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Ooh,
remember
as in
I got it.
cat.
Tabby was tough.
Oof,
Wow.
that was a good get.
Double
Dang.
B.
Yeah.
Double BY.
Current score: Peric is at 12. Chad is also at 12. Mitch is at 8. Listeners are at 2. Geo's at 10. So
Yeah,
a
we
lot
had a
of-
bad streak of
Could have
non-participation.
been 13-11 if I had said dandruff instead of scalp flakes.
flakes.
Flakes. The doctor uses the most generic term possible.
Yeah.
Flake, pieces of scalp. Falling off your head.
Dermatitis.
Yeah.
The only one you missed was the only one that was missed was New Jersey.
That's crazy.
I
Couldn't
just
get
couldn't,
that. Why?
couldn't get there.
Did you have it, Peric? But you had.
Well,
already
I blame the
relaxed.
delivery of the question. You couldn't buzz in and have a reasonable amount of time, but you could have a super reasonable amount of time by not buzzing in. That just seemed odd.
Well, yes, because there were other people. Yeah, I mean, it's just like when
Yeah,
you
the
read
risk
the whole
of not
question, you
buzzing
get
in.
time to think.
I know. I'm just
When
saying.
everyone else has guessed.
I mean,
That's one of the
Yeah.
rare instances where buzzing in early doesn't really pay off. That's all I'm saying.
True.
right.
Well, it does pay off. You get to answer
Right.
first.
Because I don't think
I
we
remember
have an.
reading it a
I don't
couple
think we
minutes
have an
ago and-
official like timer.
in this instance, though, it should have paid off. You had 50 items to choose from. You knew all the items. You just needed to recall.
Yeah, but
right?
as soon as I buzzed
And
in,
neither of
I
us
was
could.
pressured to say, "Don't take too long," which is different than normal.
Well,
I should have
I
said.
wasn't.
I should have
I
said.
just failed.
When I read the initial questions, I was like, I need to say something about this first question
Yeah.
because I can't because everyone's
It's-
gonna buzz in because it's like, oh, states.
It's a
I'll
unique
just
one.
think, and I can't give too long to think. And I should have said that before reading the question, but
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
But turns out New Jersey was really hard to remember.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Probably because it smells so bad,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Armpit of the country.
thing about New
Righty.
Jersey. All right.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks, Kojak.
guys.
Are we
Yeah,
gonna
take
do
it easy.
Gardic at the end, or we broke it last time? I think we took it to the max. So I don't
We
know.
don't have a challenge. We haven't even talked about a challenge.
I got the challenge.
Jeff
Awesome.
does.
Awesome.
Clutch.
You sure you want to do drink, not food?
I don't. Sounds like you want to do food. Let's do food.
I'm indifferent. Let's do the drinking challenge. Let's go to a bar. Let's go to a bar.
Like a place that doesn't
Together?
serve food.
You got to go to a bar, and you only are allowed to drink, no eating.
But is this like? It can't be a restaurant bar, right?
It could be a restaurant bar if you sit at the
If you
bar.
only go to the bar and only drink.
Like
That's easy. That's not a challenge.
Applebee's, here I come.
Right.
I don't know. Should we make you go alone? Does that
That's-
make it better or worse?
Far, probably. Yeah, maybe.
I just think like let's go to a bar. Almost all of us have had COVID recently. So we've cleared that hurdle.
How about we do this? How about we vote the four of us, and you are
Like
not
my
allowed to
pub
vote
crawl.
for yourself for the person who went to the most bar-y bar, right? Like the thing that is like, okay, that's a bar, a restaurant, not a bowling alley. You know, that's. And so one
You
person
could
gets
still
a
have
bonus
just one
point.
person complete it, and they would win by default. Like completion
Yeah.
is a way to get to that. Okay,
let's go to a
I like
bar.
that. As soon as you said vote, I was out, but I kind of like it now.
And you can't vote for
Bar-y
yourself.
Bar.
So
Party bar.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I like this one. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it.
There's a tiny bit of effort that goes into this.
I'm gonna need a babysitter.
Especially out in the burbs.
Yeah. Oh, there's a VFW.
Oh, cry me a river.
What do you mean?
Although,
You live in the country
I
where
could-
there's 40 bars per capita.
I could easily walk to one in
Yeah.
my 5,000 person town.
Yeah, and you can get like an egg out of a jar at the kind of bar near your house. Like a pickled egg out of
There's
a
a
jar.
bar in Byron that I've never. It's such like a. It's a townie bar. I'm a townie, and I don't think I belong there. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Gotta be a real townie.
Yeah, you've lived there for 10 years, almost a decade. And
You got to
still
be a
don't
townie
really
who's
quite
like
fit in.
down on their luck townie. I've just never quite had that bad of luck, I guess.
All right, bar challenge it is.
Okay. Sounds like Tombo and I are going to go to the Foreign Legion.
Ooh,
I just invited myself along.
that sounds.
That's
awesome.
a real bar.
That sounds barry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very bari.
All right.
Okay.
We gonna play anything? Or are we just gonna fold?
I don't know. We could do
I
either.
fold.
Oh, okay.
Peace out.
All right.
I think I'm gonna fold tonight too.
All right.
Me
See ya.
too.
Whoa. Jeez. Oh, jeez. You guys
That was
really
fast.
folded.
That was fast.
All right. Well,
you
thanks
tomorrow.
for logging in, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Good luck at the
Am I
bars.
driving tomorrow?
Yeah. Technically.
See you tomorrow.
Or I can. Whatever.